Hey everyone, this is Russell. I want to welcome you guys to module number 2 of High Ticket Secrets. And I apologize, we're a couple minutes late getting started here. Just had a bunch of technical issues, but we are here and live and excited to share with you guys some really, really cool stuff. So to begin with, before we get started, I just want to ask you guys a quick question. Just see if you all had a chance over the last week or so to kind of start planning out your back-end product. We went over a lot of different examples and ideas, and hopefully got the wheels in your head spinning. So if you've kind of decided what that's going to be, or you know what it is you're going to be offering people, let me know in the chat box just so I can get an idea that you guys are keeping up. Good. Looks like you guys are getting it. Good. I want to make sure that you guys are keeping up with this. You know, the worst thing that I've been doing this now for over a decade, and the people that have the most success are those who are like, as we teach something, they implement it as we go, versus those who just kind of listen to the whole thing and then they think they're going to come back and implement and they never do. So make sure that each step as we're going through this, that you're kind of creating it and preparing it and getting all those things ready as you go. So today we are going to be talking about the 2-step funnel. Next week, we're going to be talking about actually how to set up your call center, and Robbie's going to come on that one and kind of go over a whole bunch of really cool stuff with you guys. And then the last one, we'll be talking about traffic and how we drive traffic to fill our funnels and do a bunch of cool stuff. So that is the game plan for today. Now, last meeting we had, it was interesting. We had a very diverse group that's here. We had a lot of people selling like information coaching, we had people selling more traditional coaching. We had offline type businesses. Apologies, my Skype was making some noise, so I just logged out. Offline businesses with people who don't have a product, who don't want to have a product. We had people who've got a whole entire product line. So we had a lot of people from a lot of different places, which always makes it fun. And so because of that, I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways to do these 2-step funnels. And we've had success with all the ways I'm going to be showing you guys. Plus, I'm going to talk about a couple ways that we personally haven't done, but I have friends that have done, and things like that as well. And so anyway. Yes, someone asked about when the recording for this will be in the members area. I would say tomorrow at the latest, maybe tonight, but tomorrow at the latest we'll have the recording up. Okay, so that's kind of the game plan. So I'm going to jump right into these. So in fact, I'm going to cut to a picture of Russell talking, and that's the next slide. This is for story time. So I decided I'm going to show this picture every time I jump into story time mode. So I want to kind of tell you guys how our call center used to run so that you guys, first off, won't do it. And second off, you'll see the power in what we're going to be talking about now. So the way that it used to work, basically we would sell a lot of front-end products, right? Free plus shipping things, $27, $37 products. We would sell these things. And then when people would buy them, we would get their phone number on the order form. And then we would outbound call them and basically call them up and try to offer them our coaching. And the script that we use is very similar to the one we kind of use now, the one that Robbie trains on in the members area. But that was kind of our model. And when we were doing that, we were averaging about $150 for every lead that we were able to actually get on the phone. Okay, so a lot of times there were bad numbers or international or things that we couldn't get a hold of. But for every single number that we were actually able to get a hold of, we averaged $150 per lead. Okay, so if we sold a product for $30, it means on average we make another $150 when we call that person on the phone. Okay, not too bad, right? You look at it that way, it's like, wow, that's a pretty good return. You know, especially if you're selling the $27 or $37 product, you know, you're making 5 or 6 times as much from the back end. Okay, so I was always really excited by that number. Now, the couple of things that I didn't really like about what we were doing, one of the biggest problems we had is that we were cold calling people, right? They didn't know that they were getting a phone call most of the time. They just were, they'd bought something, and a little while later we're calling them and talking to them, and that's kind of, you know, that's what it was. And so because of that, there were a lot of people that didn't like that. There was, you know, some pushback from customers and things like that. And I think in reality, in the long term, it kind of hurt my business. I think a lot of times people wouldn't buy from me because they didn't want to get that pesky phone call afterwards. But that was kind of what we were doing. That was the model. Now, luckily for you guys, the process I'm showing you guys is a lot better because you don't have any of that. You're not going to be cold calling anybody, which makes it a lot nicer, and you don't get that kind of blowback at all. But that's what we were doing. Now, what we found, in fact, let me open up Paintbrush so I can write these numbers down because I want these numbers in your head because it's not just story time. This actually ties into the numbers that we're averaging now, and kind of what you can expect if you kind of follow our process. So we're averaging, like I said, $150 per lead. So the metric that we used back then was called DPL, dollar per lead. So I would call down to our call center each week and say, hey, what's our average DPL right now? And they say, hey, right now we're averaging about $148 DPL, or hey, we're $180 DPL this week. And I would know, $180 DPL, we'd sent them, 3,000 leads. You kind of could figure out the math based on that. So that was the metric that drove that whole business. Now, somewhere in the interim of us setting this whole thing up, and I can't remember if it was an accident or whatever, but I had this idea, and I said, look, what if every single person who bought something from us, what if we sent them a physical letter in the mail and offer them a free bonus if they would, pick up the phone and give us a call? And so that was my next kind of thought. So everyone that would buy something, we would go out there and we'd ship them a sales letter, and we had this thing. It was called our checklist. So I had like 6 checklists with a CD of me explaining all the checklists. And they get for free. They just had to call our office and talk to one of our salespeople. We'd ship them out this checklist. And so we put it in there. We started doing it for a while, and I wasn't tracking it all, but I knew that when the inbound calls came in, they would talk to a salesperson, and that way we didn't have to try to outbound call them. That was kind of the strategy behind it. And so we ran that for a couple months, and then I actually, because we were paying money on the shipping of these letters, after a while we're like, let's just stop it. It's costing us all this money. Let's don't ship them anymore. And then fast forward, literally, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks later, Robbie came up to me, and he'd only been working for us for a couple months. I didn't know him that well at the time. And he said, man, they used to call them Pat Live leads. He said, because Pat Live was the phone service that would do the inbound call for us. He said, man, can we get many more of those Pat Live leads? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, those Pat Live leads are gold, man. We want some more of those leads. I'm like, really? They're gold? He said, yeah, when somebody calls us and we talk to him, he's like, those are like, it's literally gold. I said, really? Well, what's the, let's put some metrics down. Let's find out like how good it actually is. And so we went back and we ran all the Pat Live leads, how many deals we had done off, and all that kind of stuff. And we found out after running the math that for every single person who initiated the phone call to us, we were making $450 per lead. Okay? $450 if they called us. Something got really excited. And I think there's a lot of psychology behind that. Part of it, I think, is just the fact that if you think about it, like when you're outbound calling somebody, they could be eating dinner, all of a sudden the phone rings, and they pick up the phone. They're kind of in an angry state, right? I know when our phone rings and we're at dinner, like I usually pick up, I say a couple words, and I hang back up, right? It's not usually a pleasant thing. That's the state I'm entering. Whereas if somebody just sent me a gift, I'm calling them, and they're answering the phone to give me this cool thing. What's the state I'm entering that conversation in? It's obviously way different, and so the states that we enter different things in have a lot to do with it. Okay, we call this pre-framing in NLP, and we do a lot of pre-framing stuff in our sales funnels and things like that. But the concept is you change that frame of how they enter the conversation, it changes the outcome. Okay, from $150 per lead to $450. So we started setting up all these different elements in our sales funnel to get people to start calling us. Like, that was like our goal. Like, call us. And we started doing that, and so we started just increasing it all across, and these were our goal. This was like the best thing in the world for us. Okay. It was called Pat Live. So Pat Live is just a phone system. I think it's patlive.com, PATLIVE.com. So what they do is had like a recorded message. They would call that number, that recorded message, and they would ask for the thing, and then our salesperson would call them back and just say, hey, got your message. You want to, you requested this free thing. We're going to ship it out to you. What's your address? And then boom, they'd start the sales call. That's kind of how it worked. Cool. So that was like a big aha. Now, so for years, that's how we ran our call center. Okay, $150 outbound, $450 inbound, and we just kept running that. And then, as you know, as I talked about throughout, we shut that down a few years ago. And then when we kind of restarted this, I think I talked about this. I was very nervous about restarting it for a lot of reasons. First off, I did not want to have 60 salespeople, right? And I didn't want to have people not like me. I wanted people to buy my product, not be afraid to call me, and all these things. And so because of that, like 3 or 4 years, we did not ever call any of our customers, and we were losing tons and tons of money until we sat back and kind of thought about how can we tweak this and actually make it work. And so our first initial test, what we did is instead of people buying anything, all we did is, so we had people that had bought our product, right? They'd bought something. And then instead of just going out there and calling all these people, we said, look, let's set up a system where they've got to call us instead. Okay, so let's just completely get rid of this right here. Let's just kill it. And let's only focus on these right here. And instead of them calling in and trying to trick them about, come and get your free thing and then do a sales call, like, let's make them actually know that we're going to call them to try to sell them something. And that way we're just getting the cream off the top, right? It's interesting. If you look at our old Salesforce, I'm going to show you how it was kind of set up, because this will help you understand the point of what we would do. We would have these cubes, right? And then each cube would have, this is a big desk, right? There's a cube there, cube there, cube there. So we'd have like 6 to 8 people sitting in here, and there's one person at the top, right? So all these guys were setters, and this guy up here was like the big closer, okay? So the closer was in charge of all these people. So what we would do is we would drop leads in here each week. We needed about 50 leads per person per week, okay? So if we have 8 people, I'll make 8 people so we can do it for numbers. So boom, there's 200 leads here, 200 leads here. So looking at 400 or so buyer leads a week we needed to make this little thing work. And then we had like 5 or 6 of these pods, okay, through our business. So that's kind of how the whole thing worked. And so we had to drive tons and tons of leads come here to give all these people filter down to come to the closer, and that's kind of how the process worked, right? So I was saying, like, what if we did the same thing, but what if we got rid of all these people? We just kept one person here, one person here. Let's get rid of all the people who are outbound calling, and let's only focus on these people. But let's put up a whole nother hurdle so it's even harder. So the only people that rise to the top are the cream of the crop. And so we had down here, again, here's a product we were selling. And then after somebody would buy the product, we would basically say, hey, if you're interested in having help with this product, we can come coach you through it. There's an application you can come and apply to come work with us. This is why we're great and why you should work with us. Come apply. And so people started applying. Now, when we first started doing this, can anybody guess what our dollar per lead was, our dollar per application that we were getting? What's your guys' guess? Okay, because it surprised me. All right, we got a $900 guess, a $500 guess, a $250 guess. Okay, a couple different guesses here. A $3,000 guess. All right, $1,500, $950. All right, so when we very first did it, when we first started this, we were averaging over. Ready for this? Boom, over $1,000 per app. Okay, I think we first started was closer to like $1,200 an app, and that fluctuated, dropped down to $900, $800, but somewhere in there. If you look at as a whole, everything right now, we're over 1,000. I think this week, for example, I was just talking to Robbie today, and he told me that I think as of today, we were at like $850 a lead, I believe. But they have like 3 or 4 big deals that are about to go through. If even one of the $25,000 deals go through, then the entire thing across the board will jump up to $1,200, $1,500, somewhere in there. But I would say to be pretty safe for an average, it's over $1,000 per application that's coming through. Okay, you guys getting this? So all of a sudden, I used to have 10 guys, 10 times as many leads to make the same amount of money, right? It changed everything for us. Okay, and so that's kind of the process. Then after we, all it was before was just an application they filled out and that was it. And then we started tweaking and testing and doing a bunch of different things and found a lot of cool things. In fact, I think we tested out 7 or 8 different versions of our application funnel over the last 6 months. There's 2 of them that we currently use, and there's a new one I'm actually rolling out next week. So I'm going to show you guys the 2 that have been working the best for us, and then the one rolling out next week, so you can see all 3 of those. And then I'm going to show you 2 or 3 others that other people are doing as well. Does that sound cool? All right. So let me show you. So let me come over here. I'm going to open up this. So this is a page that probably a lot of you guys have seen. Okay. Now this one, this is what I would call. What would I call this one? This one's probably not the best. The best application process, because all I'm basically saying is like, hey, I'm really awesome, you should apply to work with me. Okay, so as far as like conversion rates, it's not as high as it could be, but quality of people who come through are awesome because they know that it's not like, they know what it is. Okay. And so if you're on Facebook, you've probably seen us promoting this one a lot, because this one's just straight up going to people who are following me or who know who I am and basically saying, hey, you want to work with Russell? Come here to apply. Okay. So that's when this one kind of works in a situation. If you have your own email list and people know who you are, this one works really, really good. Now, if you're no name right now, there's other ones that are going to be better than this. But this is really good. Again, if you've got a name or a brand or whatever you want to call it, and you're just trying to get people to raise their hand and come work with you. Okay, I think in the last, it's been maybe 45 to 60 days we've had this page up. I think we've gotten about 800 leads come through, and from that probably 600 or so that were like English speaking, actual really good leads have come through here. Okay, so this is sometimes this is the front of the funnel. Yes, this is the front of the funnel. Again, this is like. This is just a simple two-step, okay? Now, this is not going to be the best if people don't know who you are yet. It doesn't really tie into a funnel perfectly. It kind of, it does on the back. But again, I think there's actually better versions of this, and I'll show you guys the better versions here in a second. But this is one that's just kind of like, it's a big barrier, and but the people that come through are really, really qualified. So let me see if I can pull this over here and see if I can find a page for you guys real quick, just to show you an example of how somebody would come to this page. Excuse me. All right, cool. So for example, this is the page right here. This is if somebody bought .com Secrets Labs right now, then come here. Thanks for ordering. There's some stuff for them. And down here, there's a big block. Okay, this big banner ad. It says, "Need help? I'm not talking about another course, product, class, or seminar. I want to design and create the system for you or with you. If that sounds something like you're interested in, click here." So they click on this button right here and it takes them over the application. Okay, so passively, I plug this in the back of every single one of my funnels. Okay, somebody's bought something from me. The next logical question is, hey, do you need my help? Okay, a couple questions came through. So this is an upsell. It's not really an upsell. It's just at the end of my funnel. So they've already seen all my upsells, and they just landed very like on my thank you page where it's kind of dead space, and it's just like, hey, thanks for buying my thing. By the way, do you want to come work with me? Okay, do you need help? So you think about whatever somebody's bought from you, like they bought from you because they trust you, they like you, whatever it is, right? Like if you're a weight loss person, they just bought things, they think you're gonna help them lose weight. And so the next logical question, hey, you bought my book, like, hey man, you just bought my book, do you need some help? Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was talking to one of our students today who's doing a back end for his program, and he positioned his completely wrong. I hope he's on here, maybe, but he positioned it was basically saying, how did he position it? He said, it said, hey, you bought my book, but if you're like me, you probably don't like reading books. You don't like really studying stuff. So if you want to just cut to the chase, then come buy this thing over here, okay, or come apply to work with me over here. Okay, if you do that, what just happened? It just kind of negates everything that they just did, right? They basically just bought your book. They were convinced it was the greatest thing in the world. It's going to change their life. They made a commitment. They're all excited to read it, and then you're like, oh yeah, you shouldn't read that. Okay, that's not the way you want to position it. You do want to position it like, hey, you just bought my course. Okay, like imagine like you're at Barnes & Noble and some dude and you're an author, some dude just walked up, bought your book, and you walk in the store and he sees you and he's like, hey, what's going on? You're here. And you're like, yeah, I'm here. Oh, good, you bought my book. You're going to love it. Hey, how would you like to talk to me on the phone and we can kind of walk you through this whole process? They're going to be like, yeah, I would love that. Can you see how the positioning is a little bit different there, you guys? Okay, so it's really important. So it's that's how it is. All right. So and again, it's not an upsell. It's the end of my funnel, just like oh, by the way. Okay, it's not anything bigger than that. It's just kind of by the way. And why is this a big banner? Big barrier. Okay, I just did a big banner because I thought it'd be fun. And then it's a barrier because when I show you some of these other funnels, you'll see how the other funnels, like there's a funnel that I'm taking somebody through to convince them of an idea, which then leads to my coaching. Okay, so I'll show you guys that here in a second. This one's not doing that. This one's just saying, hey, I'm Russell, you should buy my coaching, give me money. That's literally the pitch. So it's not the best pitch in the world. So because of that, I'm not going to get as many people through, but the people who come through are going to be perfect. They're going to want to, they're going to want to work with me. Okay. All right. A couple of you guys are asking, good question. So you guys are asking like, where are these templates at? If you've been on my list for a while, you probably know we're in the process of launching a new company called ClickFunnels, and all of these templates will be inside of ClickFunnels. Depending if you're watching this live or you're watching a recording of it, ClickFunnels will either be live or not. If you just go to clickfunnels.com, you'll see if it's live or not. We're as far as the live recording, we're like a week away from kind of opening it up. But most of these funnels, pages and application pages will all inside of ClickFunnels, so you can go and do them very, very quickly and easily. Good. Okay. Richard asked a good question. Richard, I'm going to come back to that because the next page I'm going to show you will answer that for you. Okay. All right, so this is this page right here. If you watch this video, basically all I do is I talk about, I'm like, hey, this is Russell. There's a lot of different types of sales funnels. There's 14 or 12 or is it 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 12 or 13 funnels we use. And if you want to talk to one of my coaches, they'll call you on the phone and they'll look at your business and they'll tell you which funnel is the best for you, and then they'll email you all these funnel templates. And after I talk to you, they're going to find out if you're a good fit to work with me. If you are, then hey, we'll get on the phone and I can be your personal coach. And so that's kind of this process here, right? Like I have testimonials from Tony and from Bill and people who think I'm cool. So this is step 1 in the process. Okay. Now, for each of you guys, if you go to innercircle.comsecrets.com, you can see this thing. And I recommend applying because the email sequence you get in here, you guys, is also very important. So I'm just going to opt in real quick. So opt in. So that's step 1. Boom. Now step number 2 comes up, which is the actual application. So here they go through the application. They're going to fill it out. You can look at the questions that I asked here. Actually, I'll kind of go through this. So step number 2 here is the actual application. Okay. So I'm trying to get a bunch of different things from them. And I'm trying to find out a couple things. Okay. First off, I'm trying to get their phone number, obviously. The website URL. That I'm asking, like, tell me about your company. What are you doing right now? What's working in your business? Okay, I want them to let me know what's working because we're gonna play off of that in the sales call. Okay, when Robbie or Troy or Kimberly gets on the phone, they want to be able to say, hey, cool, so you got a business, this part's working, that's awesome. In fact, the people that are applying, I want them to have a company. That's why I call it company. So I'm trying to attract people that have companies. What's working, I want to be working with people that have something working because the brand new, it makes it way harder. So if they have something working, then it's really easy to say, hey, cool, this is working for you. Let's, we're more likely to want to work with someone that's got something already working. All right, that's just kind of it is. Now, do you currently have a sales funnel? I ask this because that's one of the coaching things we're doing is help coach them through a sales funnel. And most people do not have anything like that. Okay, so I'm asking them for it because I want them to kind of like, I want them to kind of feel dumb, like, oh, I don't really have a sales funnel, or I kind of do, but it's not that good, or whatever it is. Because most people, even if you have an amazing sales funnel, I guarantee you still think it's not very good. Okay, the weight loss space, even if you're in great shape, you still think you're fat. Okay, that's just how it is. So I ask them questions that kind of lead to what I know they want, but they're probably not happy with right now. Okay, so I know they want a sales funnel. That's why they're here, but they're probably not happy with theirs right now. So let me just find out, like, what do you got? Show me what you have right now. Okay, it's gonna make them feel a little self-conscious. It's gonna have them kind of just show me what they've got. But it gives also the salesperson a place to talk to, like, oh, so you don't have a sales funnel yet, or oh, your sales funnel only has 2 pages. Like, the way Russell does them, there's usually multi-steps and blah 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 blah. Right? Okay, what's the number 1 problem in your business right now? Again, this is the key thing for the salesperson. If we know what their problem is, then we can do what? We can help resolve their problem. That's our whole goal, right? The other questions, these questions here are mostly for me to find out how much money they have, to be honest. Okay, so how big is your list? If they have no list, they probably don't have any money yet. If they got a big list, they're probably making some money. Okay, this is how I ask how much money they're making without asking how much money they're making. Okay, or how much money they have to invest, just because that's going to give me a good idea of what we can sell them, right? Okay, next is, what are your company's monthly gross sales? Okay, find out kind of where they're at during the month. If they're making no sales, I know that. If they're making $10,000 a month, making $10,000, making $50,000 a month. I know if somebody's making $50,000 a month, we're probably going to pitch them on our $25,000 or $100,000 product, not our $8,000 product, right? But if they're making less than $10,000 a month, we're probably going to sell them our $8,000 product. Okay, it just helps me to know kind of where they're at. And how big is your advertising budget? In my space, somebody's advertising budget directly correlates with how much money they can invest. Okay, so it's a direct correlation for me without saying, how much money do you have invested in my coaching program? Ask how much money they invest in advertising, and that kind of tells me what they're able to invest in a coaching program. Okay, so this question is magic for me. For your business, it might be different. You just got to think, like, what things correlate? Which things aren't you directly saying, hey, can you afford me? But you know that in your business, they're going to need that kind of cash flow. Where are they spending it anyway? Those are kind of the things that I'm looking for. Okay. All right, this question right here, we got this from, I think I told you guys last week to read this. If not, you should. If you go to Amazon and type in Dan Sullivan, the question. If I spelled that right. Yeah, this book right here. I recommend all you guys invest $20.55 right now by the Dan Sullivan question. You can read the book like literally in 30 minutes, but one of the best sales books you'll ever find. It makes things very, very simple. But basically, this question comes from that. He's saying, hey, if we're to have this discussion 3 years from today, I think he says 1 year, but if we're having this discussion 1 year from today and looking back over the last 12 months, what would have happened in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? Okay, that question is going to get them to future cast and kind of think about their future and what they want, and then bring it back. And there's so much psychology behind how this question works. You should use it you're going to be using it in your sales script, about 1,000 other places, but I like starting with the actual application. So, and again, this fits in any market. Weight loss, finance. If you're selling furniture, it could work. If you're selling cars, it can work. Okay, it works for anything. Okay, and then I want them to sell themselves on why they should work with me. Like, hey, this is application only. There's a big waiting list. Tell me why you think you'd be a good fit to work with me. Okay, when you look and take action now, someday, soon. So I want to find out how serious they are. And then fill in the blank. I am an excuse maker who looks for opportunities and reasons not to take advantage of them, a procrastinator, or an action taker. And what's shocking to me still is like half the people still check off excuse maker. If I was applying for something, I would not admit that ever. I would try to put forth my best foot, but people still don't. So those are the questions I ask. I've noticed a lot of people do different questions, and it's all good. The reality is the questions aren't nearly as important as just the state that those questions put somebody in, okay? Where it's starting this positioning process where it's positioning you as the expert, okay? All right, so that's the second step here. And then the third, so after they fill out that form, then we add in this homework page. And this homework page is one of the keys, okay? If I could tell you as one piece of this thing that took our average order rate from whatever it was to 1,000 and beyond, this homework page is one of the keys. It works awesome. So let me see if I can find it again. Too many pages open. Somebody asked a question. The last question, if they are excuse maker, an action taker, or an action taker, is important. The sales rep responding differently depending on how they put it down. Yeah, all the questions are important. And like if you're gonna, depending how many leads you have, like you're probably gonna call the people that say I'm an action taker a lot faster than you call the person that says I'm a procrastinator, right? So like when the reps get their leads each day, it's totally kind of grading like what's our A leads, our B leads, our C leads. And so the people that are the action takers that actually have money, we're gonna call first, and the next set second, and third and fourth, and you kind of work through there. So yeah, so those questions are a lot for the salesperson to be able to grade who they're calling and what order and all those type of things. Good question. Okay, so here's the homework page. This homework page is magic. A couple things are going to happen. Okay, now what I want you guys to understand is that this entire application process I talked to you guys about last week. It's all about like positioning yourself as the guru on the hill. No one's going to pay you $5 or $10 or $25 or $100,000 if they don't believe that you're worth it, right? And if they can just pick up the phone and talk to you super easy, they're not going to pay it. If they can get to you super easy, they're not going to pay for it. So you have to have stuff in place to try to position yourself different so that they want to ascend up and talk to you and work with you and those type of things. And so it's all starting in this process. Now, the email sequence you guys get after you subscribe to this is some of the best stuff. In fact, I'm going to pull it up because it's really good stuff. I just started moving things to get response and get responses down for like a week, so we're moving again. But see if I can remember how to autoresponders. Oh, manage autoresponders. Okay, let me find my autoresponder sequence. I'll read the emails because after they apply, before the homework, there's a whole bunch of emails that come out. Okay. Cool. So here's email number 1. Okay, thank you so much for applying for my inner circle. We've received your application and we're looking forward to talking with you. Now here's what to expect next. First, go and complete your homework. You can see your homework assignment here. Okay, again, and I'm going to walk you through that page here in a second. Okay, and second, in the next day or two, our team's going to be reviewing and pre-approving your applications. In the next 24 to 72 hours, you're going to be hearing from us. No, if you're accepted, then in the next 24 to 72 hours, you'll be getting a phone call from one of our team members to go over your application. If you're not accepted, you're going to receive an email letting you know that you aren't accepted and what our suggestions are for you to take next. Thanks, and we're looking forward to talking with you. Okay, so I'm kind of putting some doubt in their mind right now, like, hey, you may be accepted, you may not be. Okay, and you want this again? This is all the positioning stuff, you guys. And next week when we're on the call, there's even more positioning stuff happening through the sales script. But right now, the positioning is happening right here from the email follow-up sequence as well. Okay, so there's the first thing. All right, email number 2 here. Email 2, it starts out, I want to apologize. Okay, actually, subject line says, I'm deeply sorry. So yesterday they heard like, hey, if you don't get accepted, I'll let you know. So the next day they get an email saying, I'm deeply sorry. And they're like, oh, I didn't make it. It says, hey, I want to apologize. We knew there's going to be a lot of interest in my inner circle, but we didn't realize it was going to be this much. Now we're taking this very serious. We cannot accept everyone right now. We've been spending a significant amount of time going through each and every application. And it's taking a lot longer than we had thought. And I'll let you know who our final choices are, and if you're one of them within the next day or so. I have my whole staff going over these right now, so thanks for your patience. From Russell Brunson. P.S. Make sure you've completed your homework so that if we do talk to you, then you'll be prepared. Your homework is listed here. Boom, and I give them their homework assignment again. Okay, so first their hopes are like, oh, I didn't get accepted, and they're like, oh wait, there's still some hope. There's still a flicker of hope, right? So they're kind of they've got kind of that feeling like, hey, it may actually happen. All right, next email. Now I start kind of bringing it back in. That, hey, you didn't get called yet? Okay, from all the phone calls that we've been getting, from all the nervous phone calls and emails we've been getting, I get it. You want in and you want in right now. If you're still waiting to get called back on your application, but you're ready to move now, you can give us a call and you can jump to the front of the line. First, make sure you're doing homework, and second, call this number right here. Here's the phone number. Now, this doesn't guarantee you're going to be accepted, but it'll give you a chance to start talking to us now. Sound good? Cool. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, so now email 3, what am I doing? Okay, this is coming back from my old school days where we jumped from 150 to 450. Okay, if I can get them to create the inbound, good things are going to happen. Okay, try and get them to create an inbound call. Now, we are calling people in this process. So depending on how many applications we have, they may have got a call by now, or maybe they haven't got a call by now. But regardless, we've been positioning this to get them kind of nervous, and now they've got a slot shot where they can jump up and give us a call with people calling in. Now, what's cool is last Monday, so a little while ago, a couple days ago, Monday morning started. We came in at 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, we got a phone call from a guy. And literally within 30 minutes of getting this, he signed up for our $25,000 mastermind group. Okay, pretty awesome. Okay, I thought it was awesome, but what's even awesomer is about 45 minutes later, we got another phone call from another guy, and he also signed up on the spot for our $25,000 thing. So before 11 a.m., we had made $50,000 in sales from people who were calling in because of this process. Because they're freaking out. I can't get in. Okay, we let them in a little bit, and boom, they want to get in. They want to close the deal. They want to shut it down fast. Okay, it's all this positioning stuff. You guys see how this is working? Okay, and I have other emails that keep kind of going through here. I'm not going to go through all of them. If you want to opt in, you can kind of go through it. Next email, hey, we want to welcome Jeff and Clint. There's 2 people in our inner circle, so I kind of talk about them. We're doing calls. Most people aren't a good fit, but we did accept 2 people. I want to congratulate you. First is Jeff, next Clint. If you want to get in now, give a call here. And I have a couple more emails kind of like that, just trying to get them now to inbound call while they're waiting for our call from our salesperson. Okay. All right. So let me come back to here. So that's the email they're getting after they apply. Now they're over here and they land on the homework page. So homework page, I'm trying to set their expectations. Okay. First thing, here's what to expect next. You gotta go fill out the homework. Next day or so, someone's gonna be calling you, and it's gonna be one of these people, either Troy, Kimberly, or Robbie. One of these is going to be calling you. And then right here I have, hey, if you're ready to get started now, give me a call. Okay, again, I want to create an inbound. So, hey, if you don't want to wait for the application, then come and give us a call right now. And then I've got some stuff for them to watch. Now, this is really the key, you guys. On this homework page, my goal is not really to try to sell them anything, not really to try to let's see, what am I thinking? I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm not trying to educate them on anything. All I'm trying to do is to build a relationship with them. Okay, because at this point, if they're going to buy or they're not going to buy, it has nothing to do with how much education I give them or how well I sell them. It has 100% to do with how much they want to work with me directly. Okay? So if you notice my homework video number 1 is called The Lost 7 Secrets of Success. Okay, if you watch this video, I go through 7 things you need to do to be successful in life, and pretty much all of them are you need to take action right now. So if they watch this video and they got on the phone with the salesperson's like talking to him like, hey, you probably should take action, right? I just listened to an hour of Russ talking about how like if you don't take action, you're not going to be successful. Now the sales guy's on the phone with him is like, man, you need to take action. Okay, so this video is basically helping to position them so when the salesperson gets on the phone with them, they'll be more likely to buy. Second video is 100% I want to build a relationship with them. If they watch this video, it's a 10-minute video of me telling my story. Okay, they see me cry 2 or 3 times in this video. I'm just telling my story about who I am and why I love business and why I'm passionate about marketing. And if they watch that, I would say probably half of the people that have signed up for our high-ticket programs, I have an initial intake call with them, and all of them are like, man, when I watched your video, I was bawling my eyes out. I had my wife come watch it, and she was sold, and we were just ready to sign up because we love you. We love your wife, and we're so happy you guys got pregnant. Okay, like that's literally what happens all the time because I have this emotional video that ties them to me. Okay, so what kind of story do you have? What do you have that you can share to get people to want to trust you and want to like you? Okay, tell your story. Make a video of you just kind of telling your story. It doesn't have to be high production, high quality. Just tell your story, and people are going to resonate with that. And then video number 4 is just a video of my buddy Chad, who's a chiropractor, and we did some stuff for his business. And it's a video of him saying, hey, I had Russell come and he spent an hour with me, and I went from going bankrupt to being wildly successful. And man, if you get a chance to be on the phone with Russell for an hour, take it. Like, you'd be crazy not to. And that's a video from Dr. Woolner. Okay, so you notice I'm not really teaching them or selling them. I'm just making them fall in love with me. I'm making them want to take action and just giving them some proof that what I'm doing is actually working. Okay, and that's the magic. This homework page, I'd say probably gave a 30 or 40% bump to our earnings per application, maybe more. But definitely it was at least a 30 or 40% bump. Okay. All right, so let me map that out here on my paintbrush whiteboard. So the process with that one is very simple. Okay, I have an application page. Have video that basically just talks about, hey, if you want to work with me, it's going to be awesome. Come work with Russell. And I have them opt in. So have them give their name and their email address here. They submit. Boom. Then step 2 here. Step 2, they come and they actually fill out the application form. So they're going to apply to work with me. And then step number 3, I have my homework page. Homework. Now when they sign up on this page right here, I have an email sequence that just keeps reminding them to fill out applications. Because it takes a while to fill out applications. Some people don't the first time. So I have three or four emails go out like, hey, don't forget to apply. Don't forget to apply. Don't forget to apply. They come here, they fill out application. When they do that, they start getting those emails that I read a couple of them to you. They're like, hey, you need to come apply. Hey, if you're going to, it may not work for you. Hey, you're running out of time. Hey, give us a call. And those emails are pushing there. Okay. Now for this funnel like this, I'm basically, like I said, on the back of every one of my sales funnels, I'm putting a banner ad or a text ad or something telling them like, hey, you bought this product. If you want to work with me, come work with me. So there's a banner ad. I also plug this into all my follow-up sequences. So I have emails, my follow-up sequence, maybe email 2 or 3 is going to be like, hey, you've been on my list for a little while. If you want to work with me, come over here in my inner circle and come apply to work with me. And then we also drive traffic directly from Facebook. And that's kind of it, you guys. Okay, very simple funnel. We're not driving a ton of traffic because we don't need to drive a ton of traffic to this. I talked about this during the sign-up webinar. Right now, one salesperson needs maybe 20 applications a week. So you got 2 salespeople, maybe need 40 applications a week. So that's all you really need. You don't need more than that. If you get more than that, their sales will actually go down. It's funny, when I first started the call center, we'd give every sales rep like 300 to 500 leads a day or a week. And we hired some guys that actually had been in call centers before. The first thing they came in, they took away the 300 leads, gave everyone 50. And at first, the salespeople were so mad. They were angry. They were pissed. And then all of a sudden, they all started making tons more money. So you don't want to give salespeople too many leads. It's counterintuitive. You need less, and if you have less, they'll work them a lot harder. If you give them 200, they're going to call once and throw it away. Okay? And that's kind of the process, guys. It's pretty simple. Okay? It's not that difficult. So this is one way to do your funnel. Okay? All right, let me show you number 2. All right. Let me close some of these pages down. Okay, number 2. This one might be a little better for a lot of you guys, especially if they don't know who you are yet, or you're trying to sell them on a certain concept. Now, this page is a little different. Well, how do I explain this? If you guys, we have a whole program called the black box funnel. Let me give you the 10-second overview what the black box funnel is, because it'll make more sense. So what we do on the black box funnel is we give away a free plus shipping thing on the front, 3 plus shipping, and on the thank you page we have a case study video. So we have step 1 is watch this case study video. Step number 2 is register for my invisible funnel style webinar. So I'm sure most of you guys probably are not familiar with the concept invisible funnel. And I could teach a week-long training just on that. But what the invisible funnel basically is it's a premium webinar that somebody can sign up for, and they put their credit card in, but you don't bill them until after the webinar is over. Okay? And so what we do is, so there's a video right here. It's a case study video, basically sharing a case study about something. We say, go register for the webinar. They put their credit card in. We bill them for $0 right now. They go to this webinar that's 3 or 4 hours long. And at the end of the webinar, if they're happy, we bill them $97. If they're not happy, we don't bill them anything. And at the end of the webinar here, we push them to our application page. Okay. So that's kind of what the black box funnel is. That's one way we do this. And so that's kind of what this is right here. This is the second step. So second step, watch this $48,000 per week black box case study right now. So you watch this video right here. It's a video just showing a case study about something. Okay. So for you guys, you got to think about what it is that you are currently selling. Okay. Let's say you're selling, weight loss. Okay. Find 3 people that you help lose weight, and you're gonna make a video sharing a case study of those 3 people. Okay. If you're trading money in Forex, find 3 people you've helped and tell their story. Okay. That's all it is you just find 2 or 3 people that you have case study for, and you share their case study here in a video. And at the end of it, there's 2 ways to close this video. Okay. The simple way, which is what we're going to kind of show, and I don't have an example in front of me right now, but at the end of this video, you just say, hey, if you want more information about this, then come down here and apply. Okay. So if you look at the very bottom here, I have a link that says no thanks, I don't want to register for the webinar. And if they click on that, it takes them immediately to my application page. Okay. We see here's an application very similar to the other one that you guys saw earlier. Okay. And then from there, they apply, takes them to the homework page. Okay. So there's kind of 2 ways to do this whole thing. Sorry. Conceptually, there's a lot of ways to do this. So I'm showing you guys a bunch of them, so you can pick the one that makes the most sense to you and the one that's going to be the easiest. Okay, so the page I just showed you did the invisible funnel. And again, that's going to be confusing for a lot of you guys because this, that's kind of outside the scope of this training. But I want to show you that page because conceptually it works great. So instead of doing the invisible funnel thing like I talked about here and here, all you do is the same case study video, because case study videos work so good. APPLY. In fact, I looked at Ryan Dice and this company. If you look at, they launched their funnel coaching program. That's all they did. They didn't even have a free plus shipping thing at the front. All they did is they drove people directly to this case study page. It was like, hey, here's a case study about how we helped 3 people build $1 million a year funnel. And they watch this video and it shows a case study of them, how they do it, the 5 steps they do, blah, 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 blah. And then, hey, if you want to do this for you, apply right here. You click on apply and it takes you to the application page over here. Okay. So it's kind of similar to this first one I showed you guys. Oops. Here. Except for, again, my positioning on this one was just like, hey, this is Russell. You guys know who I am already. You just bought one of my products. It's going to be awesome. I want you to come work with me. That's what the positioning on this one. Okay, positioning on this one is, hey, here's a cool case study. You can learn about how so-and-so is making a ton of money, or how so-and-so is losing a lot of weight, or how so-and-so is having this awesome result that I can give you. Go watch this video. So they watch that video and it sells them now on why they should be working with you. Does that make sense? So this is more like I'm sending it to a warm audience who already knows who I am, or they just bought something from me. These guys have no idea who I am. Let me show them a case study about why I'm awesome. So it warms them up. They watch that, and then underneath there, I have a link for them to apply. Takes them to the application form, they fill it out, and then takes them to the homework page. Okay. Yeah, someone said, yeah. So the black box funnel, we launched this funnel initially a while ago. It's no longer active because it's a long story. But yeah, if you go to black box funnel, if you want to see this right now, blackboxfunnel.com/case study.php. That's where you can kind of see this page right here. Good question. Yeah. This funnel we're not actively driving traffic to right now because I took this 4-hour webinar. I'm transcribing it into a book. It'll be a free plus shipping book, and then we'll relaunch this funnel. But we did it probably 4 or 5 months ago. We launched it and as a live thing. And anyway, long story, doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters for you guys right now is understanding this concept of step 1 is a case study video. Step 2, have them register to be part of whatever it is you're showing them a case study on the video. Okay. All right, so that's kind of the second one. Now, the third one, this is one I've been building over the last couple weeks, and this is one we're launching next week, and I'm really excited about this one. I think this one's going to be the best, okay? This one's not live yet, so if you guys go to it, it doesn't work, but it will, like I said, it will be by next week. So what we found is one of the best ways to engage somebody in anything is a quiz. Okay, I have some friends right now. They had this offer that was like, it was doing all right on Facebook. It was about break even. And then they threw this quiz in front of it, and they threw this quiz in front of it, and people went through this quiz, and they landed on the webinar page, and they literally doubled their money without changing the webinar at all, just adding this quiz in the front of it. I thought, that's pretty smart. I'm gonna do it. So we built out this quiz, and I'll show you guys the process here in a second. Okay, somebody asked a question. Somebody asked a question here. So. How do I answer this? What's the best way? Someone's asking, so do we drive them to a squeeze page first and then the application page, or what? You guys, the answer is there's a million ways to skin this cat. Okay? If you look at the building blocks of a sales funnel, okay, there's a lot of different things. You've got squeeze pages, right? You've got free plus shipping pages where you're selling like a free CD or free DVD or free book. You've got application pages. You've got homework pages. You got a bunch of stuff, right? So you've got quiz pages I'm going to show you right now. And so some of you guys are saying, what's the best way? There's not a best way. There's a lot of ways to do this, okay? And so I'm showing you different ways you can do it. What you do is you say, okay, here's all these different types. Here's all the building blocks. For my funnel, let's see. I think I just want to make it simple, so I'm going to have an application page because I like that. I think that'll be easy to do. And I'm going to have a homework page. And that's all I'm going to do. And you guys, guess what? You can make a ton of money with that. That's all we had for a long time. Okay, then for me, I was like, hey, the application page is working good, but a lot of people don't know who I am yet. So let me add a case study video on top of it. So up here, I just added a case study video on top. Case study, and all of a sudden people didn't know who I was. Now they started signing because they gave me this great case study about how many people I had helped, and now they watched that case study video. It warmed them up. Then they applied. More people signed up because of it. Okay, and then another one I said, hey, I'm gonna give away or I'm gonna have a squeeze page first because I want to have the leads first. I'll have a squeeze page first, and then I'll push people to squeeze page here, and then they're there. Okay, all these work, you guys. Okay. Like on this one I'm going to show right now, instead of doing a squeeze page here, I was like, I think I'm going to try a quiz here. I haven't launched yet. I don't know if it's going to do better or worse, but I think it will do good. That's why I'm trying it out. I'm going to test it out and see what happens. Okay. So there's a lot of ways to do it, you guys. There's only two things you have. Well, there's only one thing you have to have. The one thing you have to have is the application page. Okay, that's the key. You have to have that. I recommend at least having the application page and a homework page because the homework page is easy and it'll increase your sales. Okay, if people don't know who you are at all, I'd recommend definitely having a case study video on top of your application. And if you know how to set up a squeeze page and you want to follow people, then add a squeeze page or a quiz. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense, you guys. Okay. I'm trying to show you a lot of ways to just do it instead of just one because there's not just one way to do it. You have to understand internet marketing is not a science. It's more of an art. Okay. There's scientific things behind it. Like if you do this and you do this, it's going to do things better. But there's art as well. Like, hey, this is art. What do I want to do this time? Let me try this, Hey, maybe get it. For me, it comes from necessity. Like this page right here, Again, if people know who I am, works really, really good. If they have no idea who I am, it doesn't convert at all. It's horrible. Okay, this page over here that's got like a video. If they don't know who I am, this video is going to make them be sold on me, and then I can apply. Now they're going to sign up. Okay, but it's all about who I'm sending to the page. Okay, all right. So let me show you the quiz. Somebody's asking about ClickFunnels. So yeah, so most of these funnels that I'm doing are in ClickFunnels. Okay, you can also use pages like lead pages really, really easily to create most of these. Hire a web designer for $5 on Fiverr can set these up. One thing you do need to know, we use a company called Wufoo.com. Wufoo is the company that makes, let me find it real quick for you guys, these forms right here. So the actual application form with the questions and all that kind of stuff. Wufoo is who we uses. We'll show you that next week with Robbie, because Robbie can show you how he goes in there, he prints them out, all that kind of stuff. But Wufoo makes it so you can create a form super easy, and then it'll give you some code. You paste that on your page, and boom, the form pops up there. And then what's cool is that when the leads come in, you have kind of a lead database in there, and you can track it. You can see who you've called, who you haven't called, and everything like that. And it's like, I don't know, $30 or $40 a month. So it's pretty inexpensive. But Wufoo is who we use for that form. So that's really the only tool you need outside of like a web builder, or outside of just hiring somebody to set up a website for you really quick and easy. But again, ClickFunnels, yes, ClickFunnels will be able to do all these things, you guys. We built it for me, and then we're selling it to everybody. So, all right, so here's the quiz. So I recorded these videos 2 nights ago, and basically it says, hey, watch this quiz. And for my quiz, I want to have like one core hook. Like, what's the one core thing I want to help people do? So my whole thing is I want to help people double their traffic conversion to sales. That's my one thing. Help you double your traffic conversion to sales. So I have a quiz that's going to help walk them through that. So I just have a couple questions. And the reality, you guys, is the questions don't matter at all. Okay? Obviously, I'm doing them to try to pre-sell them on me and on why they should sign up with me. But the reality is, like, I don't store any of the answers anywhere. Okay? It's just, for whatever reason, these little micro commitments, you guys, they just work, and it gets people to take action. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it, right? So they go through this quiz. There's a little video in each one. They ask each question. At the end of it, after they finish them all, then, and again, this funnel's not finished yet. It'll be finished the next day or so. After this, they opt in. So the last page is they opt in. Then I'm going to be taking them to a page that looks just like this one. I have a different video on top, though. And then I'm getting them signed up for a free invisible funnel style training, $0 up front, then $97 a month. And then on that webinar, at the end of it, I'm gonna pitch the application at the end. Okay, so that's kind of the process I'm taking people through in this funnel. And again, it's not live yet. It'll be live by next week, and I can probably by our next call, I should have results I can report back to you guys and say, hey guys, this is what happened from this funnel, because like I said, I think I'm launching it probably next Monday or Tuesday. So I should have by the next webinar actual results, and I can show you the whole process and walk you guys through it in a lot more detail. So, but again, it's the same thing, you guys. All I did is I took the same thing and I said, hey, let's add a quiz in front of it and see how that affects traffic we're driving in, see how people respond and those type of things. So, good. All right. Some other questions coming through. Some of these questions, so Matthew asked like what merchant account we use. We'll probably cover that a lot more next week, again, because that's all the call center setup stuff. I have a call with actually one of our students I got to jump on here in a minute or so, and so I can't go too much longer on this one right now, but we'll cover merchant accounts next week, because that's all the call center setup stuff. There's a couple merchant accounts that are very friendly to what we do, but you're right, that can be one of the hardest parts. So we'll talk about merchant accounts. We'll talk about the sales setup structure. We'll talk about the Wufoo forms. We're going to talk about all that fun stuff. Robbie will be on as well, and you guys can ask specific questions. If you have salespeople, I highly recommend having them come on that call as well. And it's going to be pretty awesome. So, but hopefully that helps you guys understand. Like I said, there's web builders out there. You can have piece these pieces together within a week or so. ClickFunnels will be live, and anybody can use that as well. And again, all these funnels that I've kind of created that I use will all be inside of ClickFunnels, including these more advanced ones like the invisible funnel style ones and things like that. The only thing we don't have is these applications. So you have to use Wufoo to create the form that you can plug into a ClickFunnels template very quickly and very easily as well. And yeah, that's about it. That was a bunch of ClickFunnels questions coming in. I can't answer those right now, you guys. we'll do how this at the end of this. Actually, when ClickFunnels goes live, I'll do a call with you guys specifically on ClickFunnels and help integrate it with you guys so you can all see it and see how it all works. That'll probably be the best way. Yeah. Vanessa asked, on the quiz, does the system send the same results regardless of what they answer? Yeah, for ours it does. You could probably get more fancy and do more, but it doesn't really matter. My goal is to get them engaged in this process, get them clicking on things, because it'll get them more likely to opt in, which gets them more likely to apply, which gets them more likely to buy. And these little micro quizzes like this just do really, really well. In fact, if you want to see the people, mymovies.com/online quiz /quiz.php. This is their funnel. You come here and it pops open a little quiz, and they ask questions. Like I said, they're crushing this right now off Facebook. So that's why we're testing it, just to see if we can get our Facebook one to work a little better. But that's what they're doing and having tons of success with it. So, cool. Let's see, if it's a biz op, should the testimony video to application homework the same way, even though it's a high ticket biz op? Yeah, it works the same if you're, high ticket biz op versus high ticket coaching. It's the same process, you guys. Same way you're going to be selling it, same psychological triggers, same follow-up, same everything. Yep. Good questions. All right, cool. Well, that's going to be it for today, you guys. Like I said, next week we're going to be getting into the actual call center part, and it should be fun. I hope you guys are moving forward in this. So again, the biggest things for you guys, if you want to go through our funnel, just go to innercircle.comsecrets.com. This is the one that's live right now that most of our traffic's coming through. Feel free to, I'll send it to y'all. Feel free to go through that, look at the pages, look at the questions, look at the homework, look at the emails you get, because it'll give you a good idea of what's been working awesome for us, and that'll be a good thing. Yeah, next week during the call, we can talk about hiring commission-based salespeople, all that stuff. In fact, if you go in the members area right now, you guys, there's a whole video. Robbie did like a 90-minute long video talking about how to hire salespeople, what ads to run, all that kind of stuff. So there's already a lot of that training in the members area, but we'll definitely go over that as well on the live training next week as well. Awesome. Okay, well, thanks, you guys. Appreciate you all, and we will talk to you guys next week. Thanks, everyone.